Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. Today we're doing our used bow build, and we need to change the draw length on this Hoyt. Now I'm going to show you how to change the draw length on this Hoyt, but I'm also going to show you a couple of different bows that I've got that are a little bit different than this, so you can kind of get a general idea of how to change the draw length. Now there's important things that you want to look at. On this Hoyt, the module is right here. And you can see there's a break right there. This is one piece, and then on the bottom there's another piece. So we'll show you here. This is the top piece right here. And then on the bottom there's going to be a really small piece that's going to go on the bottom. Now before you do anything on this module, you need to know whether you need to press this bow. Right now I do not have this Hoyt pressed. What you need to look at is if the module has any kind of string pressure on it, you're going to have to press it. Basically, if this right here was connected to this module and this string was putting pressure on it, or this cable was putting pressure on it, then you would have to press it and you would have to remove the tension on this cable in order to move this module. If not, when you pop this module off, it would basically allow that to relax and mess up your bow. So there's some bows that you have to press and there's some bows that you do not. The basic rule is if there's a cable touching your module in any way, be safe, don't be sorry, and press that bow. If you have doubts, if you have any kind of doubt in your mind and you have a press that bow, get the tension off the cable, and then change your module. It's a really easy job to do, to change your module, to change your draw length, but it's also a really easy job to mess up. So that's what you look for whenever you to know if you need to press the bow or not. This one here, there's no cable touching this module here. There's no cable touching the bottom module. So we are going to be able to press this bow, or we're going to be able to change the modules on this with no problem. Now, there's a way you can tell by looking at your module what the draw length is. You can see, well, you might not be able to see the letters on these modules. This one is a RK, that's my RK cam, 3A. This is the number 3 cam. This is the A module. And then TR, top right. So this one here is an RK 3E TR. So I go to Hoyt's draw length chart. I know this is a number 3 cam, so it has a range of, I believe, 28 to 30, maybe 31. But I know I can correspond this letter E here, and I can find out what draw length it is. I can go to it, and I can look up this letter A, and I can correspond that with what draw length it is. Most companies are going to have something like that. They're going to have a letter or some kind of identifier on their module, and you're going to be able to use that with some kind of chart that they almost always have on their website to tell what your draw length is with that module on there. So I need to remove this module and the bottom module, and I need to put the new ones on. Okay, so there's easier ways of doing this than the way I'm showing you. I've never done it like this before, but I'm doing it so I can get it in front of the camera, and I'm doing it so I can basically show you guys how to do it. There's going to be 2 bolts on your module. There's one here and there's one here. This may also cause you to have to press this bow. If this bolt was up under the limb, then I would have to press this bow. I would have to rotate this cam around to get to that bolt. As it is, I can get to it just fine, hopefully just fine, without pressing this bow. Now there's a lot of bows out there that bolt, for me, my particular draw length, sometimes goes under there with rotating mods and stuff like that. It goes under the limb and I have to press it. Bowtech's one of them. I always have to press a Bowtech in order to change the draw length on it, even though you really shouldn't have to. So what I'm going to need is our trusty Allen wrenches, and once I've got my Allen wrenches, I can actually pop that module off and start to change it out. Okay, so these are not our trusty Allen wrenches. I hate this set, but it's the only one I can find right now, so it's what we're going to use. So we're going to remove the first bolt. We're going to get the proper Allen wrench out. We're going to remove the first bolt, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Sometimes these things can be really difficult to get out. When I ran my shop, I had to buy a special tool because I had so many people coming in with these things that they had stripped them out. So when we put them back, we make sure that they're tight, but we don't want to over tight them. A lot of times the problem is just that they've been in there for so long that they're hard to get out. They're almost seized up. A lot of the older bows, they didn't use stainless on them and they would rust in there. So get this out of the way without getting my hand in there. So 2 bolts out. I'm going to flop this thing around so you guys can see, but basically I don't even know if I need to flop it around. Yeah, I'm going to have to flop it around. I can't do it like this. I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see what I'm doing on the other side. Okay, so I went to change this over and I realized I forgot a bolt. So I forgot 1 bolt right there, which is why it wouldn't come free. So we're going to take that bolt out before we try to change the module this time. Get everything out of my way to get this done. Hey, look, the module is coming loose. Life's hard when you're stupid. Or as John Wayne said, if you're going to be stupid, you better be tough. Okay, so we have our module off. Just like that. Module's off. With that, we're going to take our new module and we're going to make sure our letters are out. We're going to put it right on back in there and line everything up. So we're going to tighten that back in place once we get it lined up. It's really hard to get everything lined up like this. I normally do this completely different than this, but we're going to get everything lined up. I'm looking on the side and I've got my holes lined up. Now I'm going to get this first one started, but I'm not going to tighten it all the way down yet. Just going to get it started just to kind of hold it into place. Now, with that one started, we're going to drop it into place. We're going to pick up another one of our bolts and we're going to get it started too. Right down here. Just like that. You don't need any Loctite on this or anything like that. You don't want, unless you're going to own that bow for the rest of your life. The next person gets it may have to change it. That's all we're going to do to tighten it too. That's as tight as we are going to make it. Well, 2 out of the 3. Put our third one in there. My neighbor has been working on that house, banging on that roof for months now. And if you guys go back about 2 months ago and watch some of my videos, you'll hear him banging around in the background. He's either doing a really good job on that house, or he's a really terrible carpenter. And I know that firsthand because I'm a terrible carpenter. So there you go. The top is changed. Now we're going to change out the bottom. Okay, so the bottom module on this Hoyt is pretty easy. Again, we got 2 bolts right here that we're going to remove. On the back side, I've looked it over. I've made sure that there's no cable touching this. I've made sure that there's nothing that's going to put any kind of tension on it when I remove this module. So we're just going to pop these 2 bolts loose right here. And do the same thing. Look at the orientation of your module. You know, look at how it, some of the grooves on there, the lettering on there. Make sure that you get that thing back in there the right way. If you don't, when you draw your bow back, you're going to know it. Most bows, you're going to have a hard time getting it put back on there if you have it wrong. So you can see this one came off just like that. I'm going to put that one down. My new one's going to go on just like that. A pretty good indicator is the lettering on this right here is usually a pretty good indicator. And when you do this, you'll be able to see the other side. I'm doing it, you know, backwards right now for the camera, so I can't really see what's going on over there, but it's going to fit right in. It's going to be like a puzzle piece is what it's going to look like. You know, it's going to fit in to position just like a puzzle piece. And I'm going to have to get around here where I can see. Okay, had a cable that it wasn't touching it, but it was getting in the way. So now that I've got that back in position, we'll do the same thing. Well, crud, I dropped my bolt. We're going to do the same thing we did on the top. We're just going to get one bolt started and get it to hold the module in place, and we're going to get the other one started after I find it. Okay, got that one started. Hey, look, right there it is. I never get that lucky. I took some of these down a few years ago to my local Fastenal and got module screws of all different kinds that were the right threads, different lengths. I've got same for my sight, same for my rest. I went down to my local Fastenal and got all kinds of different stuff when I had the shop. These little E-clips, all the different kind of bolts that you use and that you drop. So that's a good idea to have replacements on those. Okay, so on the bottom draw module, you got your draw module right here. This is where I should have done this video to start out with. You got your draw module right here. Here is your draw stop. The Hoyt only has a draw stop on the bottom. It does not have, well, it has one on the top, but it is actually built into the cam. So you can look here, you can see this is an RK3A, and this is actually set all the way over on the 30 inch. So what we're going to do is move it over here to the A slot. So on this particular one, all you have to do is loosen that up. Sometimes they're two-piece. This one is actually just one piece. So we put that in the correct corresponding slot for that module, tighten this thing up, and that is all it takes to get it turned, or to get it moved, at least on this Hoyt. So there we go. Our draw mod, or our draw stop on the bottom cam of this Hoyt is moved. This cam is the binary cam from Bowtech. This is on a diamond, I'm not even sure what bow this is. This is, anyway, this is their universal bow. Oh, this is the Edge SB1 is what this is. And you can see right here we have our draw stop built into this cam. You've got 3 bolts right there. What you're going to have to do to change the draw length on this is you're going to have an indicator mark, which is right here. And all you have to do to change the draw length on this is pop those 3 bolts loose and rotate this thing around to where you want it. Put the 3 bolts in, and right here on the side it says 30, 29, 28, so on and so on. It has hash marks on the half for you to, like you can see it's set at 27.5 right now, which is my correct draw length. So if I want to change this to 30, all I'd have to do is pop those out or loose. Sometimes you can do it just by loosening them. Sometimes you got to take them all the way out, and you just rotate this around. That automatically sets your draw length, and it automatically sets your draw stop. Some cams are not quite that simple. Let me grab another bow and we'll show you that one. Okay, so this is my 3D bow. This is a new breed, and this has a 2-track binary cam system on it. Now this is a prime example of a bow that is a little bit more difficult to change the draw module. You can see here this cable wraps right around the draw mod, and this cable underneath here, well, it doesn't touch the draw mod, but it wraps right around the draw mod on the top. So if I pull that draw module off of there with this on here, it's going to really cause some damage, especially as some threads get a little bit to the end and they get a little looser. That cable's going to want to push down. It's going to do some damage here to it, and you're not going to be able to get that back on there without a press. This is a bow that has to be pressed in order for you to change the draw module. Now you can see the draw module right here. It's similar to the one on the Hoyt. All it is a part that you take on, take off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around and show you how this thing changes here, if I can get it in front of the camera. Okay, so this one, you got 3 bolts on here that you have to pop loose, maybe 4. Yeah, it looks like 4. There's one right down there under the under the limb. So you got to pop those loose to get that module off here. Now, when you change that module, it's going to be numbered, and on the back side of here, you're going to have hash marks. Each hash mark, you know, you'll count up to whatever hash mark it is. When you change this draw module, you have to change this draw stop too. It does not automatically set your draw stop for you. You have to do that before you pull this bow back. If you have it set on, you know, say really short, and you don't change it, you change this draw module to 30, when you draw back, this draw mod is going to hit this limb before the module does, and it's not going to break over, and you're going to be holding the full weight of the bow. If you take this draw module out, now if you adjust it too far, say you adjust this thing down as low as it'll go and leave this thing way out here at 30, there's a potential that this cam could actually roll over and lock up. What will happen is this cam will roll over, and when it comes here, I can't explain the science behind it or whatever it is, the mechanics behind it, but it will actually come over and it'll lock up and it won't roll forward. Your string will go slack and the thing will lock up, and if you don't have a bow press handy, it can be an ugly situation. You need to immediately put this in a bow press if you do that. So with this one, when you change the draw module, you have to change the draw stop as well. So real quick, I'm going to show you both bows side by side to show you the difference between a rotating draw module and a replaceable module. Okay, so this is the diamond again, and this is a rotating module. Now what this means is to change the draw length, all you have to do is loosen these up and rotate the module around. If you're buying a used bow and it's not set to the draw length that you need to either look and see if it has a rotating draw module. If that's the case, then all you have to do is, if it's in your range, loosen these up and put it to the correct module. That's the easiest one to do, especially if you're buying from an individual. This Hoyt, I had a lot of trouble because it's so old. I had a lot of trouble finding the correct draw module for my draw length. Now this one is a replaceable module, and what that means is, in order for you to change the draw length, you have to take this off, you have to buy a new module, and you have to put the new module on there. So that's what I had to do with the Hoyt. Now the modules for the Hoyt, I got lucky. I paid 30 bucks for mine. The guy actually only wanted 20, but they're the last modules I could find on the planet. So to ensure that I got them and that he got them to me quickly, I actually paid him a little extra for them. So a rotating or replaceable draw module can be a little difficult to find on some of the smaller bow companies out there, or even on some of the bigger bow companies if you don't have a dealer close by. So if you have a bow, you're going to buy a used bow and it has a replaceable draw module, if you're buying it from a shop, see if they got this draw module in your correct draw length. If it's an individual, before you buy that bow, make sure that you can find a draw module that's going to fit your draw length. If you don't, you end up like me and end up with having to try to find the one draw module that's left in the world. So it can be a little bit difficult to find sometimes. So this is a replaceable module. The other one is a rotating draw module. And again, this is the kind of module here that you want to be on the look for. If that cable puts any pressure on your draw module, you want to press this bow before you change that. Another warning, if you have this module and you have an independent draw stop, when you change the module, change the draw stop as well. Changing draw stops is pretty easy to do, and you can do it right at home in your shop if you have the tools to do it. Be safe, be smart about it, and make sure you do it correctly. Your manufacturer is going to have all the recommendations in the book that you need. If it's a bow that you're not familiar with, you know, it doesn't come with the book, you bought it used like we did here, take it to a professional and see, you know, watch them do it, see how they do it, and then after that you can kind of tackle it on your own. So I hope this video helped you guys. Hope you can understand exactly how easy it is, but also how challenging it can be to change these draw modules. So now that I got the module changed on the Hoyt, I can actually shoot the thing comfortably and get it all lined up for my hog hunt coming up. So I appreciate you guys watching these videos. I appreciate you sticking with me on this used bow build. Be sure to follow us on social media under Ike's Outdoors. We're on Instagram and Facebook too. And I put stuff up there like I'm making beer now. And last year I was making knives, so I put stuff like that up there too. You guys can see kind of what I'm doing on Facebook and Instagram as well. So if you guys want to check that out, it's under Ike's Outdoors. Appreciate you guys watching.